Today, I'm going to be doing a deep autumn makeup look. So this is part 3 of my makeup experiment where I'm trying each of the color seasons makeup palettes. I've done soft autumn and true autumn, and today's the last day of the autumn vibes. So today I'm thinking I'm going to lean into like deep, rich reds, copper tones, some browns, copper tone. I was just thinking it sounds like the sunscreen, copper tone. Anyway, leaning into those tones and gonna see if I can make it look harmonious with my complexion. I definitely know I'm not a dark autumn. This season's characterized by having more contrast in the features. You'll more likely see like dark brown eyes, and the skin is generally warm to neutral leaning, and yeah, a bit more saturation in the features. The colors of this palette are really gorgeous. They're rich and vivid, but they still have that muted characteristic that the other color seasons had, but it's darker, it's richer, it can also handle more like opposing, contrasting colors together a little bit more. But yeah, I love this color season. I love these colors. I know I can handle a dark red lip, but can I handle it with a little bit more going on the eyes as well? We shall see. I'm thinking of using this new palette from Florasis. It's the Into the Wilds palette. This copper is speaking to me. I swatched it and I was like, wow, that's pretty. But initially I was going to use the Natasha Denona Mini Gold palette. I think both of these work. Maybe I'll end up using a combination. I'm not too sure yet, but the copper really felt like, you know, what a deep autumn makeup would need. They do say not to use too much shimmer with the autumn seasons because they do still have that mutedness to them. So I don't know, I'll try and chill it out a little bit. I've kept the skin matte. I already have foundation on. I'm not going to use any highlighters, so yeah, we'll see where that goes. I think the shimmer note is sort of about like that clarity and sparkle that comes from shimmer, which like bright seasons can handle really easily, but the muted ones like autumn have to watch out for, autumn and summer. So yeah, let's get started. For blush, I'm going to use from Luna Roots. This is the Twilight in the Briars Color Magic. It's just a perfect, rich, warm red. This is my first time actually filming in my house with a table in front of me, and I'm like, it can be handy for the elbows to like do a wing liner, but it's kind of getting in the way for this. Anyway, this is the perfect color because it's vibrant yet muted. Like I said, that is just perfect for this color season. I saw Nikki Reed listed as a dark autumn, and there's that photo I showed earlier, and when I saw that, I'm like, that makes so much sense to me, because in Twilight as Rosalie, something felt really off with that like blonde hair and what they were trying to do for her complexion. Although to be fair, all the Cullens looked kind of weird with their yellow blonde hair and yellow eyes. I mean, but she stood out to me as like, it looked strange. But her being a deep autumn checked out. I use a bronzer from Marc Jacobs. I believe this is discontinued, but it seems pretty warm. It's pretty blendable. It smells like coconut. With the deeper, warm seasons, definitely should be able to handle bronzer because it's leaning into the warmth and depth. Basically, I'm trying to blend the blush into some structuring around the face and warmth around the face to just make the whole complexion seamless. And I have these new brushes from Spectrum from their Malachite collection. They are so pretty, and they sent me a code that I can share for 15% off if anyone's been interested in Spectrum. So just warming up all around the face, everywhere. Maybe going even like a bit heavy-handed than I normally would. So leaning into the suggestion for matte, things being matte and less shimmery. I'll keep the complexion very matte, so I'll go in with a powder now. I am wearing the Estee Lauder Double Wear, which is a really matte foundation. It's definitely a favorite of mine because it lasts really long. I like this base. It's really pretty. I've been not using like powder bronzers as much, but I don't know, I'm feeling this one today. When I first got into makeup, I like picked up so many bronzers. I don't know why. It's like, why would I buy so many powder bronzers? But anyway, I have a lot floating around in my collection. I don't know, this one felt really buttery and blendable. I think I'm gonna keep this out and use it a little more. That being said, I think I'm gonna start the eyes with this. Just seems like a really nice transition shade and it's gonna keep everything harmonious. So just using an eyeshadow brush and going into this. It's been a long time since I did this. Very common hack where your bronzer's your transition shade. It just keeps everything tied together. Just into the crease, working up into the, whatever this is called, the temple. It's a fluffy brush. I have stuck in my head the song from Barbie, I'm Just Ken, because the Oscar nominations came out today, and I was so surprised to see I'm Just Ken was nominated for Best Song. It's hilarious, but is it like Oscar worthy? Billie Eilish, What Was I Made For? I mean, that I really hope wins. We have the foundation, the base of everything laid down. Now I'm going to start leaning into more depth. Now in this palette, this new one from Florasis, there's a dark brown in here. However, I noticed when I swatched it, the payoff is quite soft. It's not too dark, but I do want to start with it because sometimes that's what I need with a dark shade to just build it up. So I'm going to start with this dark brown here, see what the payoff is like, how dark we can get it. It's definitely can be nice to build it up rather than be stuck blending a super dark pigmented shade. And just start kind of making like a wing shape from the outside of the eye out to the crease. And then using the side of the brush to blend up. This type of eyeshadow is almost really good for someone like me who has less contrast and depth, and it's like I want to work my way up to it. And we are doing a darker red lip with this, so I don't know, I'm hesitant to overdo it, right? I'm going to use a bit more of a fluffy brush to diffuse it more. I'm actually really liking working with a dark brown like this that isn't too pigmented. You can really get a nice blend. The eyeshadow brush that had the bronzer, let's go like this. I'm also rocking some autumn nails. This is my favorite nail polish of all time. It's from ILNP and it's called Autumn, if anyone was wondering. Look at it, it's so pretty. Ooh. Ooh. Anyway, I saw it on my newsfeed and I died. I'm like, I need that. I need it. That is such a great blend. Woo! I like it. Okay. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. I'm just Ken. Anywhere else I'd be a 10. I noticed since I've started this experiment, I've only done two other colors palettes so far, all in the autumn season, but it is really cool how certain colors can impact your features, even if it's not, again, like your color season. When I was using those bolder oranges, the more vibrant sort of oranges of the true autumn, it turned my eyes pretty blue. However, these like browns and camel tones, camel tones, camel toes and copper tones. Anyway, these these browns, these warm browns are making the eyes a little green. So just one more reason why it's fun to experiment with all these different palettes. I'm going to use this shade on the lower lash line. Seems like a sort of sandy neutral. Yeah, it doesn't really show up too much. It's kind of like my skin color, but... So I'll go into the brown as well and kind of just layer it on top. So it's like clinging to that lighter pigment and being diffused. Lately I've been liking to, when I do the lower lash line, like a fluffier brush and kind of going quite far in actually on the lower part. While I tend to keep the darker pigments farther away on the upper lash line, sometimes it can create like a cool effect when you bring it all the way in here. Okay, I think it's time to lean into the copper color here. They did recommend for the deep autumn, like wearing golds, but also coppers, like with your jewelry. I'm rocking kind of like a sort of a copper colored earring. It's a gold earring technically, but it's like a hammered gold. Technically brass with like gold plating. So I think it's got that coppery vibe going on. I'm going to go into this kind of lightly at first. Wow, I love that. I'm taking a step back and using some glitter glue. Strangely, it's actually been a while since I used a copper eyeshadow. I don't know why. Maybe it's going to look really bad. Wow, this is just a gorgeous, gorgeous color. There was a little bit of fallout, so if there's a stray glitter, don't mind that. Sometimes I'll try using like a spoolie to get some of the shimmer off of fallout. It helps a little bit, but I don't know. Sometimes it's inevitable when you do your base first. Now I want to add some more depth into the eye with a dark brown liner. I'm going to kind of work this into the upper waterline, which is going to be hard to do on camera. We'll see how it goes. I'm just going to bring this close in. I hope you can see what I'm doing, but I need two hands, maybe. Oh boy. And I think I'm going to do the lower waterline too. It's kind of different for me to do a dark waterline, but I want to try it today because I think when you have that dark contrast of these darker color seasons like this, like that can really make the look have that intensity and depth and mystery even. I'm also not a fan of doing the dark waterline because you can like see it. It feels like there's something in your vision, you know. There we are. Can you see the difference? I'm going to go back into the dark brown from the palette just to like integrate with the liner a little bit. Yeah, I like that. It's a little bit more sultry with this going on. So I'm going to do that on the other side because you don't need to watch me trying to do that on camera. And I'll pop the lashes on and we'll see if I can pull off a red lip with this. I'm thinking of the Fenty one I once featured because it's such a perfect autumn, dark autumn lipstick, but I mean, it might be kind of overwhelming for me, the more glam eye and the bold lip, but we'll see how it goes. So I'll be right back. Okay, here's the look with lashes. I put a very dark brown mascara on the lower lash line just to add to that warmth and softness, not softness, that just to keep that little touch of warmth going on. This is looking really nice in my opinion, at least in the light here in person. It just looks very sultry, glam. I'm nervous to go in with a red lip. I'm scared it's going to be too much, but let's just try it and see. Maybe I'm gonna have to opt for like a brown more, but why not? Let's go full glam, full deep colors and tones. I'm gonna line first with MAC Cork, which is a sort of medium brown. Even though I'm doing a red lip, I just wanna create that shape. You know, I can really see how like a mid-tone brown lip would maybe suit this best. So we may be backtracking a little bit, but this is the shade Fireproof. I did a video on it where it really worked for me to just have this lip be the statement and super minimal rest of the look. It worked for me. I'm a little worried it's going to compete too much with the eyes, but I'm going to kind of apply it lightly and then use my finger. I ended up skipping the whole lightly thing and just going in with it. Here we are with the look I was originally intending. Yeah, I can definitely feel personally how maybe there's a bit too much going on for me. However, it's not to say I don't like it or that it doesn't create effect. It just feels like a lot of makeup on me. It feels like a lot of rich tones. Maybe the first thing you're going to see about me is, whoa, that girl's wearing a lot of makeup. But I don't know. What do you think? Let me pull my hair back. We can see how my complexion's looking with it. You know, I don't know. I almost feel like it looks better. Like, it almost feels like a really glam look where I'd need like some kind of slicked back moment. It does feel a little bit vampire-y, the red lip with the smoky eye. So this isn't something I would necessarily go outside with. If I was doing this lip, I would do it like I did before, the really minimal eye, or maybe like a really soft, if it's going to be like a sparkle, it's going to be like a really soft touch of shimmer and pretty minimal. So that being said, I think it's going to be worth it for me to try another shade in the Deep Autumn palette, but that's just like not quite as dark as this. I think I want to try like a brown lipstick with this, see if it feels a little bit more harmonious. So I'm going to take this off and let's just experiment, see if I can make this work a little bit better for me. Although, I don't know, maybe you guys like it. Let me know in the comments down below. And yeah, I'm going to try a different lip. Okay, round two. I'm going to start off with the same liner, MAC Cork, because I felt like that was going in a better direction for me. And then I have MAC Derriere. Just gonna go in with actually a darker, just a touch of the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Top Dark for like a really dark brown, really lightly. Because I'm still seeing some of that red from the first lip coming through. This feels like a better choice for me if I'm gonna lean into these darker, warmer tones. It just feels a bit like I can't pull off that high double contrast sort of happening. Like, I think the first look, for example, like Eva Longoria, if I saw her on the red carpet with that, it would be like stunning. Whereas for me, I think it's a little much. So I don't know. This is interesting because this is part 3, and I do think I've learned something which I've quite suspected with myself, is that I do need to be a bit mindful of like overdoing saturation. So that being said, I think this eye on its own works out for me. Personally, I think it does. And I think that lip on its own works for me. It creates a statement, but I can't have a double statement going on. Like when you have that, when you're in the darker seasons, dark winter, dark autumn, you can handle a little bit more of that. Not me, not so much. Let me pull my hair back. Let's think Is it harmonious? Is it weird? Yeah, maybe a little odd. I don't know. I like this look. I like it a lot better like this. So yeah, this is the end of the autumns. I think my favorite was the soft and true autumn. I'm excited to go into winters. So winter's next. I don't normally lean into cool tones as much, more neutral tones and warm tones. So I think the winters are going to be really fun for me. I do suspect I'm either a spring or a summer. So kind of going through the more contrasting seasons first, but we'll see. We'll see what we like best at the end. Yeah, let me know in the comments down below what you think of the deep autumn color season. What did you think of that lip combo earlier? And what do you think of this experiment? Let me know how you like to experiment with color and how you find what works for you. And yeah, that's it for today. Don't forget to stay tuned for the next part and stay witchy, stay bitchy. Have a good week. Bye, witches.